No, so what time did you finish your Seder? That's like one of the most common questions that people ask. But the truth of the matter is, before we can even discuss the actual Seder, which I want to discuss, we have to understand what is the purpose. The main idea and one of the actual doraisas that we have on Seder night is V'higadol lebincha. We've got to tell the children. Reb Chaim Friedlander Zatzal used to refer to Pesach, to Seder night, as the night of Chinuch. It's the most incredible opportunity. To all the parents out there, I'm talking to you. This is the most incredible mitzvah, the most incredible opportunity that you have to go and relay over the nisim v'neflois, the geschmack of Yiddishkeit, everything about Hashem, the hashgacha pratis, everything on the night of Pesach. And the truth of the matter is that it requires hachana. In fact, we just had Parshas Vayikra, and we know Vayikra famously is the Rebbeinu Shalom calling out to Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Lashon of Vayikra, Rashi learns over here that it's an expression of a very fondness. That's what it is. When the Goyim, Lahavdil, were being prophesizing, so there's a very different word, and that was Vikar. In other words, there's Vayikra and there's Vayikar. What's the difference? By Bilam, for example, that's one of the examples. The difference is that, like Rav Shach Zatzal used to say, is that when you speak to someone, you call them by their name. Why do you call them by their name? Because you're saying Moshe, and then he stops, he realizes you're talking to him, and he listens. The Rebbeinu Shalom, when calling to Moshe Rabbeinu, didn't just happen to be there talking to him. That's Vayikar. That's the happened to be talking to Bilam. By Moshe Rabbeinu, it was Vayikra. He called him. He says, Rav Shach, you know why? Because every bit of Yiddishkeit, every bit of Ruchnius, everything that's worth something requires preparation. And the Seder night is no different. It's impossible to walk into Seder night and just go. It doesn't work that way. People walk into Seder night and they come there with their pile of the latest Haggadahs that just came out. Beautiful, wonderful. What did you prepare? You can't just walk into Seder night. And often, parents will ask me, what's the best way? How do we do this in a real way? And especially this year, and we had this a little bit last year as well, a lot of people made Seder that they have never made Seder before. And it's important to give over some of the techniques. How do you sit them there? Sometimes a regular Shabbos meal is already difficult, The greatest simcha for a parent is to go to somebody else's house and see how their kids misbehave. And you're like, wow, it's not just my kids? Other kids also misbehave? Oh yeah, that's right. And therefore, people are worried. What's going to be Seder night? I want to sit with the kids. I want to tell them. I want to explain to them. How do we do it? So I want to give you a couple of ideas. I don't have any simple or magic formula, but some are tried and tested ideas that really do work. The most important one is preparation. At the end of the day, you can't just rock up. You need to prepare. And preparation means sitting for a few days before Yom Tov, before Seder night, with a few Haggadahs, take some index cards, take a piece of paper, write some notes, write a couple of stories, a few midrashim, get all involved, get the preparation. It's very, very important. This year, we have a tremendous chesed that the Rebbeinu Shem gave us, and that is we have Erev Pesach Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. So apart from all the halachic problems and shilas that arise, it's an opportunity that we have to grab. It's an opportunity of calmness. Instead of the last minute rush to try and finish off the morah and crisp up the matzahs and lay the table, everything's going to be calm. Everything's going to be calm because there's not much you can do. And therefore, we're going to be able to have a rest. The children, maybe even the parents this time. And it's an incredible thing when you rested, you feel better about yourself, the children feel better, and obviously we know in Chazal, the Gemara already talks about it, in Arvei Psachim, how they used to leave their learning in order to make sure that the kids were sleeping, because it's so important that the kids are awake. Divrei Torah. Don't prepare lomdasha, shtiklach, and vetlach. Nobody really wants to hear during the Haggadah itself. Why were they sitting in Bnei Barak exactly? It's a beautiful thing to talk about, during the meal. But before that, Rav Scheinberg, my Rebbe, my Rosh Yeshiva, used to say during the actual Haggadah, we need to get the kids involved. Either you're talking to them or you're flying through the actual Haggadah. So don't spend too much time, unless obviously the kids are old enough and they want to hear about the Perish on the Haggadah, that's something else. But the younger kids for sure. And the most important thing is really the technique. And that really is very, very important, because I'll give you an example. You can look up my share on Torah anytime, and I gave a share about a couple of years ago on the 10 Makkos, which was listened to by a lot of people. A lot of people thanked me for that because it gave people ideas. Right, listen to the share. It goes to each makkah and makkah, so you can look up Sfarim and Midrashim yourself, or you could just go into Torah Time and listen to my share I gave it a couple of years ago that goes through all the makkahs, and write down a few notes. Have it in your Haggadah. Don't start looking up Haggadahs while you're going. It doesn't work. You need to have a piece of paper. You need to have index cards. You need to have it masudar. Just like you prepare for anything else, you prepare for this incredible mitzvah of V'higarat Lebincha. Make it exciting. Make it work. Get the kids up there, play, get schlepping, get it going. It's an unbelievable opportunity. It's an opportunity you only get once, or in Chutzah it's twice in the year. What an incredible thing. The Torah, when the Torah tells us about the idea of Chinuch, 4 times we find the same idea, and it's basically presented Emunah v'das es Hashem. The Yerushalmi in Psachim Perek Hey brings down that these 4 times actually represent the 4 sons that we speak about on Pesach at night by the Seder, right? These 4. Says Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Sher, what's the pshat? The Torah is teaching us a tremendous lesson. And that lesson is, the Nesiv Shalom, the Shalom Rebbe says a similar idea, that a person has to know how to approach each child. Each child requires their way of understanding and the way of being spoken to. And therefore, it's important on the night of Pesach, the night of Leil HaChinuch, said Reb Chaim Friedland to Zatzal, Leil HaChinuch, what an opportunity. People spend so much money, so much time, so much effort on doing, helping their children. We have an opportunity. The Siyata Deshmaya, the Eis Rotzen that's going, we'll talk about that next time, Be'ez Hashem, the actual Seder and what's happening at the Seder we'll talk about. But we have to understand the night of Pesach is a tremendous opportunity. Avram Avinu, as we know, was praised in a tremendous way for the Mesiris Nefesh of the Akedah. And the Vilna Gaon, the Balatanya asked the Kasha, what's going on? What do you mean he was praised for that? Wouldn't you do the same thing? I mean, if God came to you in a clear way and told you, offer up your son, makes no sense, but you'll do it. You'll do it because God told me to. And if it was so clear to you as it was to Avram Avinu, you would do the same thing. So why is Avram Avinu being praised? And the answer is very simple. It wasn't what he did, because what he did, we all would have done. It's how he did it. How he did it, with that geschmack, with this reasons, he was ready to do it. Rabbi Sai, parents out there, this is your night. This is the platform. Don't drop the mic. Use every moment. Think, ideas, demonstration, plays, all sorts of things. Get involved. This is the night that you can instill in your children emunah that can last a lifetime. It is the most important thing you can ever do. Take a few moments before the Seder. Get prepared. Know what you're going to say. Know what you're going to do. It's an incredible opportunity, and every one of us should be Zoche Be'ezah Hashem to use this opportunity to instill within our children and ourselves the most tremendous emunah that Be'ezah Hashem, this will keep us going until we have the Bayis Shlishi and we're in the Beis HaMikdash celebrating with the Rabbeinu Shalom B'siyata D'Shmai. Next time I want to discuss Kedushas Leil HaSeder. Shkoyach.